Morning, Judge.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well.
Doing great.
Everyone ready?
That depends. What's the order?
Um, the move ups.
Hey, Madam Clerk.
Good morning. How are you?
All right, Miss Erlene.
And then
What we-
the arraignments, the rest of the arraignments.
Okay.
And then you want to do Spanish, or you want to do Spanish?
We got some private attorneys too.
Yeah, we have three
We have
private
three.
attorneys also.
Okay.
Let's. Can we just do the move ups and then the private attorneys, and then we'll do the
Okay.
arraignments, and then go down the list from there.
Okay.
Okay.
You need the names for the clients, for the attorneys.
I do.
Yes.
Jules is for the first one. Jules, he's on the felonies. Jules. Rodriguez. Jules.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay.
And then Duet, felony. Duet, Jeremy. Duet.
Okay.
Then Hating, Derek Hating. Domestic.
Okay. That's it.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Your name, ma'am?
Shamar Harris.
Well, actually, before we get started, could the defense and state put their name on the record, please?
Lane Fusco, State Attorney's Office.
All righty, thank you. All right, Ms. Harris, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of battery domestic violence. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause to hold you on that. Do you have any place to go and live?
Yes.
Where?
I spoke with my uncle last night, and he said that if I was to get out, I can come stay there with him until everything gets situated with the case.
All right. Okay. And do you need to go back to the address of 1801 London Crest Drive at any point?
I just have clothes there. My clothes and my shoes is there. That's it.
All right. Okay. I'll set bond the amount of $500. You're to have no contact with Barbara Harris or to return to 1801 London Crest Drive, Unit 109. I will allow you to go back there one time with law enforcement. So you need to call a sheriff to go out there with you or of the police department and have someone from law enforcement go with you. You can get your personal items, not like TVs or furniture, just clothes, toiletry, stuff like that, okay? One time.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
All right, and you have to, not to return to there. You're not to have any drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons or guns, okay?
Okay.
Do you need the clips back on, or? Okay. Your name, ma'am?
Kimberly Murillo.
All right, Ms. Murillo, you're here today on because you're arrested on a charge of battery, domestic violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find sufficient probable cause to hold you on that. Do you have a place to go and stay other than the
I do
major
not.
boulevard?
I
What's
do
that?
Not, I do not, and I don't have a job or a car. I'd really just like to go back home to Oklahoma and get my things, but I don't have money for a ticket.
Well, that's probably not going to work on the short term. Certainly, we have no objection returning to Oklahoma once this matter gets taken care of. Whose residence is the major boulevard residence?
It's mine and my fiance's.
So that's where Mr. Pfeiffer lives, or Pfeiffer?
Yes,
Is it Pfeiffer?
but Pfeiffer.
Okay, I spelled it wrong, I think. And if he hasn't weighed in other words, do we have any, what if someone does want to come?
Our car
Alleged
is
victim.
broken down too. Sorry.
They would be. Okay. Well, because I haven't heard from Mr. Pfeiffer, I can't let you go back there right now. So you're going to have to find somewhere else to go.
Okay.
Hotel or something, at least on the short term. Okay.
I don't have any money, but maybe someone could give me maybe a church or something. I don't know.
That's possible. I don't know. All right. I'll step on the amount of $500. You have to, at this point, you have no contact at all with Mr. Pfeiffer. You're not to return to the address of 5614 Major Boulevard, room 106. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can't. And if he contacts the state attorney's office or your attorney and then has them, it's possible that could change. But on the short term, you can't go back there. Okay. No guns, no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. That's it. Yeah, and you can go back there one time if you have some items you need. Just need to call law enforcement. Okay. The PD's been appointed in all these cases already, isn't that right? By administrative order?
Do it.
Okay. All right, I'll appoint a public defender in that case. Are your name, sir?
Louis Angel Gerana.
All right, Mr. Gerana, you're here today because you're arrested on several charges: possession of methamphetamine, possession of alprazolam, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, possession of drug paraphernalia, and introducing contraband into a county facility. I have read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause on that. As to count one, the possession of methamphetamine, I'll set bond the amount of $2,500. Count two, the alprazolam, $150. Possession of cannabis, $100. Possession of drug paraphernalia, $100. And finally, the introduction of cannabis, $100. You also do have an out-of-county warrant that you're being held on, I think, already. Is that how you got in there? I don't have any paperwork on that.
Yeah, but they were supposed to set another date for me today, so I don't know if I gotta come back later or.
He's not on our list today. It'll be later. We get a list every day, and we haven't heard back from the judge in that division yet.
So probably
other
I'll probably be back here later today.
Yep. Well, I'm not. Won't be later today because we already have the list for
Okay.
today.
So now
When we hear back from the judge, we'll let you know. You'll be brought back.
The amounts on each bond, where are they? Because I heard you say them, but I don't have them in the paperwork in front of me.
$2,500 on the methamphetamine, $150 on the other. There's two other ones at $150, and the rest are $100.
Okay.
You'll get paperwork that indicates that. All right.
Okay.
Public
Thank you,
defender's
sir.
been appointed. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Office wanted me to advise the court that we should go out of county this time.
Do I have the ability to do that? Well, I guess the question is, does the public defender's office have the ability to represent him?
It's because they're being held in Orange County. They're not.
I don't have any problem doing it. I don't know what it's worth, but all right, I'll appoint the public defender. I don't know. The way the public defenders work is they have jurisdiction. It's probably not the correct word, in only a certain specific place. So I don't know what it would be. In other words, if anything gets done, they can't get paid for it.
It's just so that we.
Okay. Oh, my understanding is Judge Carter's doing that. So, all right, come on up. Yeah.
Your Honor, Parson is mental health. Parson.
Okay. Thank you. Your name, ma'am?
Also, you have Volat.
Yes.
She's out the special meds.
All right.
Hold on, Your Honor.
Reset.
She's right here.
Oh, okay. Your name, ma'am?
Jocelyn Villat.
All right, Ms. Villat, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of battery.
Yes.
I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause in that. We'll set bond the amount of, it's already set at $500. What is the other stuff? Is she out on bond on that or?
Your Honor, this is an add-on charge.
Okay, all right. And then you already had the burglary charges, alcohol, possession of cocaine, all those, and bonds have already been set on this. Okay?
Yes.
And in that note, you're not to have any contact with if you do make bond on the battery charge, not to have any contact with Asia Davis.
This happened in jail,
Oh, that's right.
so they would have to keep us.
Yeah, I imagine they'll do that. I remember now. It was over the lunch trays or something. Okay, thank you. Your name, sir?
Jody Cataract.
Mr. Cataract, you've been arrested on an out-of-county warrant. Bond is set in the amount of $500, and that's out of Seminole County.
Yes, sir. May I ask a question?
Yep.
I don't know, is there a way that I could handle this today with this? Because that was the failure to appear. My daughter
Yep.
was bringing me from Lake County. We broke down, and it was I was supposed to get time served that day.
Well, unfortunately, no. I don't have jurisdiction in Seminole County. I can't really do a plea for a Seminole County case at this point. So
I don't
you can
qualify for
either make the bond. Oh, yeah. Well, no. It's a $500 bond. I can't change the bond. It's their bond. Okay. Sorry.
Is there a certain amount of time they need to pick me up or anything like that? If I don't.
Well, unfortunately, there's not. But because of the pandemic, they're not picking anyone up. So at this point, you're kind of stuck unless you bond out. At least you have a makeable bond. A lot of people are being held on no bonds, and the other judges are not even changing those. So unfortunately, that's bad news for you. I understand.
Yes, sir. All right.
Thank you. Yep. Good luck.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Rogers Special Meds.
All right.
Is she coming back?
Reset.
Deborah Rogers, Special Meds, right?
Okay. Next.
And Stephanie, Refuse.
Okay. No skin off my teeth. And your name, sir?
Pablo Juan Burgos, JR 205, 1991.
All right, Ms. Burgos, you're here today. I don't have anything. What are these? Oh, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of trespass in a structure. This was alleged to have occurred on March the 7th of 2020. It's punishable by up to 60 days in jail. How do you wish to plead to that?
I'm thinking I get it time served because I really went online and I speak to the judge too. If I was just trying to.
All right, yeah, he's got 39 days.
Okay, 39 days.
Well, it's up to you. If he wants to plead to time served, I'll give him time served. He wants to plea, but that's up to you. He's your client. So, realistically, he's going to be in jail more than 60 days if we go down even if he's found incompetent, he's not getting out for the next 21 days.
Right, Your Honor, it's my position that's not in his.
Okay, we'll just have to. Is this the only thing he's in jail on?
No, Your Honor, he's also in jail on 2019 MM010-16480. It's a failure to appear.
That's the one that I'm talking about that I got online, and I spoke to the judge.
Okay. Well, your attorney doesn't want you to plead today, so they'll public defender will talk to you. We'll set that, I guess.
39 days.
We'll set that for pretrial.
Next up, Perry.
Division 63,
Rogers.
pre-trial conference will be June 4th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 12C.
Okay. Thank you.
Your Honor, Rogers has just walked into the courtroom. The one that we would say is Special Meds.
Hold on a second. We got to get the paperwork back. Your name, ma'am?
Deborah Rogers.
All right, Ms. Rogers, you're here today because the state of Florida alleges that on April the 1st of 2020, you were operating a motor vehicle on the streets and highways of Orange County, Florida, while at the time your driver's privileges were suspended. How do you wish to plead to that?
Not guilty.
Okay. Did you want to? We'll set that for pretrial. You want? We'll appoint a public defender to represent you. Okay, and you'll get another court date.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Alrighty. Okay. Good luck.
Division 8.
That's me. You'll see me.
Trial conference date is May 14th, 8:45 a.m.
It will be virtual. Your name, sir?
Perry?
Dennis Perry?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Perry, you're here today because you were arrested. State of Florida alleges that you did commit the offense of petty theft with a prior conviction on March the 20th of 2020. Public defender has been appointed. Just want to set for pretrial. All right, we'll enter a plea of not guilty for you. We'll set that for pretrial.
Yes, sir.
That'll be mine.
Trial conference. 8:45 a.m. Courtroom.
What's the character?
Pardon?
Yeah, both cases.
Oh, okay. Yeah, on both. Petty theft and the driving while suspended.
Okay, step.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
Lauren Bobeck for Mr. Jules. I did file my notice of appearance this morning.
Okay.
Your Honor, we're here because he actually has a bond on this case, Judge, but he has 2 holds. He's out on bond on 2 other cases. But this case actually predates both of them. This happened on the 14th of January, so I'm asking that Your Honor not revoke the bonds. On the 2 other cases, I have their case numbers if you need them.
I have them. All right, Mr. Jewell, you are here with your attorney. You're arrested on an arrest warrant for charge of burglary with structure while wearing a mask, grand theft, 3rd degree, and criminal mischief. And your attorney is correct. Those were allegations that occurred prior to you being arrested on the other ones. Bonds in that, though, are on the burglary are $3,500, $250 on the grand theft, and $250 on the criminal mischief. And I'll stay those bonds. State as.
Sorry to interrupt, but there is an information that's been filed in this case, Judge, and the state attorney failed to pick up the burglary charge.
Okay.
So I don't know if Your Honor would be willing to shift those bonds so that we don't have to pay the burglary. It is just, the highest level is a criminal mischief, grand theft.
So they didn't file the burglary, they just filed the grand theft and the criminal mischief?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, what I'll do is then there's no on the burglary, just put it down as ROR. They didn't file it or whatever you want to do on that. And then 1,000 on the grand theft and 1,000 on the criminal mischief. And then as to the other bond, State, did you want to be heard on that? It looks like, according to this, the date of arrest on the other 2 were 2/14 and 1/18. So I think what happened here is these are probably, 1/14 is the other one. So they do, this does predate the arrest on the others. I'll keep the other bonds in place.
Thank you, Judge.
Good morning, Your Honor. May it please the court.
Good morning. Yes, you may proceed.
Mr. Hayden.
Hayden's the next one. We had to written in Hayden. Okay. Mr. Hayden, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of battery, domestic violence. Or no, excuse me, battery. Yes, and also with one prior. I have read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. Did you want to be heard?
Hello, Your Honor. We just asked if we could set a reasonable bond in this case. I don't believe the alleged victim is here present. I would ask that he still be allowed to go back to his residence. I don't believe you have any objection to the no contact order being in place. Because she.
Where is Shelley Kendall? Does she live at that address?
No, Your Honor. She at some point they were in a relationship, but he had allowed her to come back over due to the COVID-19 pandemic. He allowed her to stay during that time, and then this incident occurred. But she's no longer at the residence as of right now.
Okay. So she's not at the 13036 Cordell Lane address then?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. I'll set bond amount of $500. Mr. DeWitt, you're not to have, or excuse me, Mr. Hayden, you're not to have any contact with Shelley Knight, at least on the short term. No guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. I'll let you return to the 13036 Cordelia Lane address, number 210. If she's not there, she's there, you can't be there, okay? Because you're not to have any contact with her. But based on the representations of your attorney, she's not going to be there, so that shouldn't be a problem, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe that's it for me. May I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Good to see you, Your Honor. Be safe.
Good to see you. You too. Your name, sir?
I'm sorry, Jeremy Charles DeWitt, Your Honor.
Mr. DeWitt, you're here today because you're arrested on an arrest warrant for a sex offender violation failing to register as required. The bond on that is set at $1,500.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're also out on bond on 5 charges of falsely impersonating an officer. I assume that's what your attorney wants to talk about.
Morning, Your Honor. Amir Ladan on behalf of Mr. DeWitt. We represent Mr. DeWitt on all of those cases. I don't know if the court is familiar with those cases or not, but Mr. DeWitt owns a funeral escort service, Metro State, and that is the foundation of the charges of impersonating. Those are all being litigated right now, primarily before Judge Roach. Mr. DeWitt owns about 24 vehicles, all of which are registered with the sheriff's office. The vehicle in question, I believe, may be registered to Mr. DeWitt's pregnant wife, which may or may not have been updated with the sheriff's office. I don't know that yet. But the vehicle that is in question has been at the residence for several years. It's not a new vehicle. It's not a vehicle that was surreptitiously put there. So I think that's something that can be readily resolved at some point. So we'd be asking that the court continue with the bond as stated and allow him to be released as to the holds that are on the balance of those charges so that we can deal with this appropriately. His wife is about 6 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And has had some complications on a prior pregnancy, which she lost. And so we really appreciate the court's consideration in releasing him so he can continue to tend to her needs as they go through this pregnancy.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant has 5 felony convictions in Orange County, has violated probation or community control on 4 prior local cases. He has a federal conviction in 2003 for conspiracy to make false statements in application of a passport. Has 9 felony cases pending. Some of these on bond, others on ROR. All those cases are unrelated to his sex offender registration. So all these this is a new allegation of felony crimes. On all the felony cases, he qualifies as a habitual felony offender given his history. He scores prison on a number of the pending cases. Failure to register if convicted. And states requesting that the bonds be revoked on his prior cases given the new law of violation and continued pattern of performance. He also poses a flight risk given the prior
We're losing audio on the prosecutor, Your Honor.
I think she just needs to get closer to the mic, yeah. You can stay seated if it's easier to stay close to the mic.
So the state is requesting his bonds be revoked on his prior cases, giving the new law violation, continued pattern of criminal activity, and he also poses a flight risk given his prior fraud convictions regarding the passport and that he's facing substantial prison time. We're asking the court to revoke the bonds and release in the prior cases. I also wanted to address the issue the attorney brought up that the vehicle is registered to his wife, but the law requires and the information that the defendant was given includes information that says that if a vehicle is registered to a person residing at the resident for 5 or more consecutive days, then it still has to be reported.
Well, the warrant that he was arrested on alleges that on the 30th of August of 2019, that he failed to register.
But our position is that's ongoing.
Well, I mean, I get that, but I mean, he was arrested on these new charges on the 27th of February of 2020. Looks like, yeah, that's the date on all of these. Why did they not, I mean, why did it take so long for them to do that? In other words, it's,
They just found the vehicle at the residence.
well, it's not about the vehicle. The failure to register doesn't have anything to do with that, does it?
Yes, it's fair to register that particular vehicle. And even though it's in his wife's name, the paperwork he received and the law requires him.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's from August. No, I'm going to leave the bonds in place.
Your Honor, he,
Yep.
he also has an open case out of Osceola. It's a 2019 CF 003928. Will you be taking any action on that one?
Is that one of these?
It's one of these, Your Honor. It's the same.
It's the same
impersonating accusations that we're dealing.
What was the case again? Case number again?
It's an Osceola case, 2019 CF 003928.
Yeah, I don't have that. I didn't get that. So I'll and it's the same. Is it from the same time?
It's
Yes, Your
the
Honor.
same offense.
All right, I'll leave that in place as well.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have before the court. Be safe and be well, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a,
Take that.
okay.
Yeah. Everything stays the same. Stay everything.
One moment, Your Honor.
Are you representing someone else?
I do not. No, ma'am. You just
And Judge Carter did it yesterday? Okay. I guess you'd have to ask her about it. I don't know. She may have still wanted to do it. I don't know. Okay, but I mean, I don't have any, if you can contact her, she might be willing to take a second look at it. Right. Is she down here now, or is she back at the jail, other than when she comes to do this? Yeah, she'll be here tomorrow. Yeah, here. Yeah, she does like every other day. Yeah, here. She might be at the jail today. No? Oh, no? Yeah, okay. All righty. Your name, sir?
Jose Luis de Jesus Toledo.
Oh, is this Spanish?
This is the arraignment, Your Honor.
I have Sheldrick Slater.
Bonded, Your Honor.
Bonded. There we go. Okay, Mr. De Jesus Toledo, you're here today because the state of Florida alleges that on the 29th of February of 2020, you did violate an injunction against repeat violence or dating violence or a foreign protection order. Letter plea of not guilty for you. We'll set that for pretrial in Division 50. Public defender has been appointed. Your name, sir?
Marcus Atkins.
Mr. Atkins, you're here today because state of Florida alleges that on March the 4th of 2020, you did in Orange County, Florida, in violation of Florida Statute 812.0143A, endeavored to obtain or use or did obtain or use a property. Wait which I don't know whose it was, but he did so with the intent to temporarily, permanently deprive them of the rights of the property, the benefit from the property, or to appropriate that property to your use. So it's a petty theft charge, a second-degree misdemeanor. How do you wish to plead to that? Are we taking any pleas at all today on arraignments? How do you wish to plead to that?
No contest.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
No, sir.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past?
No, sir.
Did you read over a plea form, understand the rights on that, and sign it on the bottom? Does he have a plea form?
Your Honor, he's on active probation.
Oh. I don't have that either. What is he on probation for?
Fleeing and eluding and grand theft of a motor vehicle out of Volusia County.
Oh. There's a no bond on that, I assume?
It's not a hold at this time, but we have information that he's on probation. And he's also here on a felony FTA as well with a no bond.
All right, Mr. Atkins, doesn't make a lot of sense for you to plea on this then. We'll go ahead and enter a not guilty plea for you on this. We'll set it for a pretrial.
Division 63, pretrial conference, June 4th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 12C.
And have those other matters already been handled on that other failure to appear, so we don't have to do anything with it today? All righty. Hey, good luck, Mr. Elkins.
Thank you.
Your name, sir?
Calvin Guadalupe.
Mr. Guadalupe, you're here today because state of Florida alleges that you did, in violation of Florida statute 806.131B2, damage the personal property of an individual with that caused more than $200 of damage. It's a criminal mischief charge from 2016. He's obviously being held on something else.
I believe this is a summons.
It says it was, but yeah.
Your Honor, he's currently being held on 2 FTAs, 2017 CT 00171980 and 2017 CF 00272980.
All right. Then what we'll do is we'll enter a not guilty plea. I'll appoint a public defender to represent Mr. Guadalupe, and we'll set that for pretrial in Division 62. I don't know. I assume he has. That's why they brought it here.
I don't think usually what happens is somehow alert that they're here. But he was never served.
Then why? How does it get set for arraignment? Because the clerk wouldn't set it for arraignment unless they get something back saying that he has been served.
This issue has
I'm here.
and at that point they served.
State, do you have any? I don't have. I mean, I have nothing but one sheet of paper. I don't even know. You have anything indicating that he was served? All right. Return to state for service.
Set it for pretrial. You want pretrial date or?
No, they don't want a date at all. They just want to leave it out there.
The summons,
What happened?
Your Honor.
Go ahead.
The
Yep, I'm
summons,
listening.
the summons looks like it was for today that he was served on. It says summons to appear, and it has April the 14th at 8 o'clock here at the jail.
Okay, then we will set it for pretrial in Division 62.
Pretrial conference, June 4th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 9B.
All right. Oh, thank you, sir. Public defender's been appointed in that case. Your name, sir?
Josh McNick.
I don't know what happened to those two. All right, Mr. McNeil, you're here today because state of Florida alleges that on March the 7th of 2020, yeah, you did, I'm assuming these all been filed on since we're doing arraignments, right?
Yes, Your Honor. This case.
I mean, March 7th till now, that's pretty good. Maybe they're catching up because we used to have a lot of cases that weren't filed. All right. On March the 7th of 2020, you did, in Orange County, Florida, in violation of Florida Statute 74.031A2, did commit a battery upon, I don't know who that would be. You did so, you either intentionally touched or struck that person against their will, or did intentionally cause bodily harm to them. Enter not guilty. I assume you haven't had contact with the alleged victim. Is that right, State? All right. Enter not guilty plea for a public defender's been appointed. We'll set that for pretrial in Division
84,
I knew you were gonna say.
May 14th, 8:45 a.m., courtroom 4B.
Thank you, sir. Your name, sir?
Caleb Milligan.
All right, Mr. Milligan, you're here today. We're two matters. First of all, state alleges that on March the 19th of 2020, you did in violation of Florida statute 810.092A, trespass on property other than a structure or conveyance in Orange County, Florida. In count two, they allege the same day, March the 19th of 2020, that you did in violation of Florida statute 810.082B, trespass on an occupied structure. What does that say? Paid previously? Oh, PD appointed. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, PD, that makes sense. Public defender's been appointed. I'll enter a not guilty plea for you. We'll set that for pretrial.
Pretrial, May 14th, 8:45 a.m., courtroom 4B.
Thank you. You're all set. Your name, sir?
George Pryor.
Mr. Pryor, you're here today because the state of Florida alleges that on March the 6th of 2020, you did in Orange County, Florida, in violation of Florida statute 84302, resist, obstruct, or oppose a law enforcement officer while he was in lawful execution of a legal duty. And you did so without causing violence to the person of that officer. We'll enter a not guilty plea for you. A public defender has been appointed. Well, yes?
Mr. Pryor, the public defender assigned to
Okay.
cost of investigation of $1. I already have the
Okay. All right, Mr. Pryor, the offer in the case is time served. Do you wish to accept that?
Yes, sir.
All right, so are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
No, sir.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past?
No, sir.
You had a plea form shown to you. You read over that. Did you understand all the rights and sign it?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights on that form, front or back?
No, sir.
You understand that this is punishable by a maximum of up to a year in the county jail, up to a $1,000 fine, and that the entry of your plea would result in deportation if you're not a citizen.
Yes, sir. I understand.
All right. Stipulated sufficient factual basis could be established. Counsel?
yes, sir.
All right. Based upon that stipulation, Mr. Pryor, I will accept your plea of no contest to the charge of resisting without violence. I will judge you guilty of that. You'll be sentenced to 40 days in the Orange County Jail. You do have 40 days credit for the time that you previously served. I'll impose court costs, a $50 cost of prosecution to the state. There's a cost of investigation of $51.60, and that's to, is it OPD or OCSO? Do we know? The OPD. Did you want to pay all that in 180 days, or would you like a payment plan?
Payment plan.
Can you afford $30 a month?
Yes, sir.
All right, I won't make your first payment due until September 17th. Okay, $30 a month, so you got time to get back out and get back on your feet.
Yes, sir.
But starting September 17th, $30 a month, and every 30 days until it's paid in full.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Thank you.
All righty, good luck. What happened with David Harvey and Wolf Linder, also bonds?
Yes, sir. Both bond.
All righty.
And we're going into the regular docket, Your Honor?
Yes. Right? Yes.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Your name, sir?
My name is Marlon Britton.
Mr. Britton, you're here today because you're arrested on a couple of charges. First of all, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence, and criminal mischief. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause on both of those cases.
Your Honor, he does qualify for PTR.
He does?
Yes, Your Honor.
Says no on the paperwork. Did that change something?
We have an updated copy.
Okay. You have another place? Well, let me ask you. Obviously you guys from reading this, looks like that you're not together anymore. You and
Ms. Stevens?
yeah.
Yes, sir.
So she doesn't live at your house?
No, I was residing at her spot.
Okay. Do you have another place to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, I'll set bond in the amount of $1,500 on the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and $100 on the. I'll reduce the bond to $100 on the criminal mischief. You're not to have any contact at all with Kendra Stevens. You're not to go to her place where she lives or anything like that. You got to find your own place to live. Okay. No drugs, no alcohol, no guns, no weapons. And there's no reason for you to go to her place, or is there? Do you still have some stuff there?
Yes, sir.
All right. What is that address?
It's 3416 Lake Man Drive.
All right. I'll allow you to return to 3416 Lake Man Drive one time with law enforcement, so you can get your personal items, not TVs, not furniture, anything like that. But you can get your clothes, you can get any personal toiletries, things like that. Okay, one time, and no contact with her. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Your name, ma'am?
Marshall Brooks.
All right, Ms. Brooks, you're here today on two charges. First of all, aggravated battery, and second of all, battery domestic violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there is sufficient probable cause in both of those. You were living at 507 Spinnaker Drive, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And does Conlanda live there?
No, sir.
She's gone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you don't have any reason to have any contact with her, right?
No, sir.
All right. And she does qualify for PTR?
She does, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to, I'll release you a pretrial release, okay?
Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. No contact at all with
No,
Conlanda, okay?
not at all.
All right. And you're allowed to go back to 507 Spinnaker and live there, but she can't come back and live there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right. No guns, no alcohol, no weapons, no drugs.
No, sir.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
And no contact. And it's. Your name, sir?
Salah Hamlet.
All right, Mr. Hamlet, you're here today because you're arrested and charged with second-degree murder with a weapon. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. There is no bond on that, and a public defender will be appointed if not previously done so. Name, sir? Your name?
Lee Aiello, sir.
Mr. Aiello, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of battery domestic violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there is sufficient probable cause. Is Carrie Ann Klein, does she still live at the Bahia address or Bahia?
No, she was scheduled to leave yesterday before all this happened. And the arresting officer who brought me here said that she met her at the hospital, and as soon as that her daughter was coming to pick her up, and she was planning on moving out and going there. There was the plan before all this happened, but she just was prolonging it. But her daughter lives in Maitland, and I live out by the airport, so.
Is that in that Bahia Drive, that's your address?
Yes, that's my family home. It's been in my family since 1959. My father just passed away in January, and I'm going through probate and everything. I'm the only survivor.
Okay. All right. I'll set bond amount of $500. You can return to your home. No contact at all with Carrie Ann Klein? None, all right?
Yes, sir.
No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no guns.
Yes, sir.
And we'll appoint the public defender. Not done, sir.
Vincent Morello is medical, Your Honor.
All right. Next, your name?
Billy Sugg.
All right, Mr. Sugg, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of battery, domestic violence. I have read the charging affidavit, or the probable cause affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause to hold you on that. And whose address is 1853 Americana?
My address.
And does Lena or Leanna live there?
Yes, she does.
She's still currently there?
Yes, she is.
Got somewhere else to go?
No, I don't.
No family, friends, nothing else?
Nobody.
Well, you can't go back there. So you're gonna have to find somewhere else to go. How long have you lived in town?
I lived there for like 9 years. We never had no incident.
And she's not there. So if she was there to say it was okay, I could send you back. But he qualifies for PTR.
He does, Your Honor.
And you made contact with the alleged victim, but she didn't really relate anything other than she wasn't coming to court.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set bond in the amount of $500. No return to 1853 Americana Boulevard, number 35G. No contact with Leanna Esther Vasquez. On the short term, if she says that she wants you to come back home, and she can come in and have the judge modify that order, I don't have any problem with that. Okay, but on the short term, you're not allowed to return there other than one time. You can go back there with law enforcement to get your personal items. No furniture or televisions or anything, but you can't get your clothes and any toiletries or anything that you need. Okay, one time. But you're not to have any contact with her until that order is modified. No drugs, no alcohol, no guns, no weapons. Okay, and again, don't go back there. If you go back there, that's a violation, and you'll be back in jail. Okay?
Okay.
All righty. Good luck. You know I read that one, but I didn't. It wasn't in the stack. I know that I had it. Nuh-uh. No, because when they said he wasn't there, the next one up was Sugg. We'll find it eventually. I know that. I remember that. I remember. Oh, that's what it was. Because I remember his name. Your name, sir?
Terrence Baker.
All right, Mr. Baker, you're here today because you were arrested on charge of possession of cannabis and possession of drug paraphernalia. I have read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause in the possession of cannabis at bond amount of $1,000, possession of drug paraphernalia $100. You were also out on bond already on a carry concealed firearm, resisting officer without violence, and a second case of carrying concealed firearm, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting an officer without violence. I revoked those bonds in those two cases and set no bond on those other cases.
I still have those charges pending against me.
Yes. The other ones you're out on bond on, according to the paperwork, that's no bond. The new charges you got a bond on.
I understand the last charges when I was in here, they told me they was dropped, sir. I'm only supposed to be out on bond on carry to conceal and 2 accounts of resisting arrest.
There is, well, that may be correct. In other words, it may be a carry and conceal firearm because that was one of the charges on the other paperwork, and a resisting. They may have only filed on those. So if that's the case, then the no bonds will only be on the ones that they actually filed on. Okay, so whatever, just talk to whoever your lawyers represent you on those other cases.
So I don't have a bond today.
Not on the other cases you were out on bond on. So in other words, if there was something there, then you're out on bond on something. Even if they didn't file on all of those cases, they filed on some of them.
No, I'm saying they did file on the resisting arrest.
Right.
So so I can't bond out today is what I'm asking pretty much.
No.
All right, thank you.
You could, but there'd be no point to bond out on the new one because you wouldn't be getting gain time. You're not going to get any credit. So you might as well stay in on this until the other thing gets straightened out. Contact your lawyer on the other case and tell him that you're in jail on the new thing and that that I revoked your bond, and he can go and ask whatever the felony judge, whoever that is, just to potentially set a bond in your other cases, and then you can bond out on everything. But there's no reason to bond out on the new charge at this point because you won't be getting any credit. Okay? Your name, sir?
Ryan Chandler Coe.
All right, Mr. Coe, you're here today because you were arrested on a charge of possession of cannabis. Or let me make sure it's controlled substance. Might not be. Got to remember. No, there were some pills. And it was methamphetamine and wait a second.
Yeah, he said.
Yeah. Okay. I did find sufficient probable cause. Set bond on the amount of $1,000 on that. And you were out on bond on a charge of possession of controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia previously. And I'll revoke that bond, set no bond on that.
Okay, so does that mean that I cannot bond out?
That's correct. Not on the other one. You can bond out on the new charge, but just same thing with the last guy. No point to do that since you're going to be held on the other thing. So contact your lawyer on the previous charge you're out on bond on when you got arrested.
Okay.
And then they can see if they can set a bond.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Your name, sir?
Good evening. Oh, Vernon D. Hackney. Vernon Demetrius Hackney.
Okay. And a couple that were not. All right, Mr. Hackney, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. Set bond amount of $1,000 on the possession of cocaine and $100 on the drug paraphernalia, and public defender has been appointed.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you have Figueroa Medina? Your name, sir?
Fortune Hall.
Yeah, there's two that we could skip.
Figueroa Medina is medical, Your Honor.
All right, and then what about Vandell Gardner?
Vandell Gardner is bonded.
Bonded. Thank you. All right, Mr. Hall, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of grand theft third degree and theft from a public lodging establishment. I have read the charging affidavit, and I do find sufficient probable cause.
He does qualify for a PTR, Your Honor.
He does, okay. I will release you in imposing PTR conditions.
Yes, sir.
All right, and appoint a public defender to represent you.
Thank you.
Your name, sir?
Thomas Key.
All right, Mr. Key, you're here today because you were, arrested on the charge of burglary of structure while wearing a mask and petty theft. Review this again real quick. Got to remember. All right, I do remember. Yeah, it's the blower. All right, I will. I do find sufficient probable cause. As to count one. Just a sec. Burglary of a structure with a mask, I'll set bond amount of $5,000. Petty theft, $100. And I'll appoint a public defender. Now, you're out on bond on a burglary of conveyance, grand theft, dealing in stolen property, and a grand theft, dealing in stolen property, possession of MDMA. As to the 20 CF 45, is this all in one case? This is a case number. As to the 4388AO, revoke bonds on that. There'll be no bond, and burglary, conveyance, grand theft, dealing in stolen property, revoke bonds, no bond on those as well. name, sir?
Gary McClellan.
All right, Mr. McClellan, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of possession of cocaine. I have read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. On post bond will be set in the amount of $1,000.
Or for PTR, Your Honor.
Oh, you do qualify for PTR. I'll release you with PTR conditions. Okay.
Thank you.
Public defender will be appointed. What happened to Kevin Lewis?
He bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. Your name, sir?
Colin McKee.
Mr. McKee, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of shooting or throwing a missile into a dwelling, structure, or vehicle, aggravated stalking with credible threat, and extortion. I have read the charging affidavit. This actually was an arrest warrant. Bond is set in the amount of $25,000 on count 1, shooting or throwing a missile, $1,000 in aggravated stalking, and $4,000 on the extortion charge. And I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. If you do bond out, you're to have no contact whatsoever. I think they put it in here. Yeah. With any victim or witnesses, no return to the Anchor Court or Tornatore's Restaurant on Edgewater Drive. No possession of any guns or weapons. Okay. No. Your name, sir?
Bobby Sims, sir.
All right, Mr. Sims, you're here today. You're arrested on an arrest warrant signed by a judge here in Orange County with a charge of robbery, subsequent force.
Your Honor, the bondsman came off his robbery charge, so he wasn't seen at initial appearance the last time he was here.
Okay, that's what it was. So it's not a new charge then.
No, and the bond is
Okay.
$5,000.
Yeah, I see that now. All right, Mr. Sims, what happened was you were recommitted to custody because your bondsman came off of your $5,000 bond. So the bond on that is $5,000.
All right, sir.
Okay. Yep.
Have a good day.
You too. Your name, sir?
Billy Ray Smith.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
you're here today because you were arrested, first of all, on a charge of resisting an officer without violence, a no valid driver's license, and leaving the scene of an accident without leaving information as required under Florida statutes. And that was alleged to have occurred on the 13th of April. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause on those. The bonds on those will be $500 for resisting, $500 for the no valid. Actually, I'm going to reduce the no valid to $100, and the hit and run or leaving scene of a traffic crash will be $500 on that as well. Now, you were out on bond on a possession of firearm by convicted felon, resisting without violence, carrying a concealed firearm, and resisting officer without violence charge. I'm going to revoke that bond and set a no bond on that.
Your Honor, do you have an affidavit for the act fleeing and eluding?
Yes. What was the question?
I didn't hear you call the bond for that one.
Oh, yeah, I said, okay, I see what you're saying. On the felony one. I'm sorry. Set that bond at $1,500. Apologize.
Your Honor.
All set. Yep.
The one that you, on the firearm, is there any way that I can get that bond back, or how would I go about doing that?
So you're out on bond for possession of firearm by convicted felon, resisting, and all those charges. And then the allegation is that you're in a traffic crash and that you go out on a chase where the officers have to chase you. You leave the scene of an accident. No. The answer is no.
I wasn't even the one driving, Your Honor.
No,
They didn't even get me. He didn't get me out of the car.
You don't want to talk. You don't want to say anything. Your lawyer's about to come out of her chair. Public defender's been appointed, so speak to your attorney about it. Your name, ma'am?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Wall.
Pardon?
Wall.
Okay, what happened with Clemmy Carlbert? She's there?
Medical.
Okay, medical. This one. It's just the ticket there. And this is the medical. All right. Okay, Ms. Wall.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Wall, you were arrested on picked up on an arrest warrant that was signed by a judge here. Okay. For the following charges: fraud and impersonating or misrepresenting personal ID, bond set amount of $5,000. Count 2, fraud, impersonating, misrepresenting itself or personal ID, bond set amount of $5,000. See where they got that. Then a fraud impersonation, not being the principal, bond set will be set in the amount of $1,000. A fraudulent use of a credit card, bond set in the amount of $1,500. Fraudulent use of a credit card, $1,500. Fraudulent use of a credit card, $1,500. Scheme to defraud, $2,500. Petty theft of $100 or more, $500. Petty theft of $100 or more, $500. Petty theft of $100 or more, $500. Local defender will be appointed.
Thank you.
Oh, excuse me. Your name, ma'am?
Sarah McLeod.
All right, Ms. McLeod, you're here because you failed to appear for possession of drug paraphernalia case. What division is this? In Judge Cameron's case. Oh, these were $5,000. Failed to appear for arraignment on possession of drug paraphernalia. What's her credit for time, sir? Does she want to plea on this?
I was unable to make it to court, and my brother recently passed away. Ms. McLeod wants to resolve.
Pardon?
She wants to resolve her case.
Okay. What do we know what her time served is? How long you been in jail? Just got picked up yesterday?
She has 2 days, Your Honor. It started off as a notice to appear.
Okay. Do you want to resolve this case today? If you want to enter a plea, it sends you to 5 days on the possession of paraphernalia, and you've got 2 days credit.
Yes.
And she's also being held on a failure to appear for Seminole County.
Oh,
Also arrested in.
yeah. Okay. Oh, so she may have some time there too. Okay, well, Ms. McLeod, this is the deal. If you're being held for a Seminole County warrant as well, you're not going anywhere. Okay, so if you pled to this, it wouldn't get you out. So you could just wait and then have your public defender here handle it. And it's probably going to end up being time served anyways at some point. But resolving this today is not going to take care of it because Seminole County is not coming to get anybody right now. So that's up to you. We can still resolve it if you want, or we'll set it for a court date in front of Judge Cameron and let them handle it. Okay. I think that in every one of the cases, Judge Carter is doing that. We're just waiting to get answers back. It's not simple. All right, we'll just go ahead and enter a not guilty plea. We'll go ahead and set that. I'll just set the bond. I'm going to reduce the bond to 1,000. You won't be mad. So I'm going to reduce your bond, but again, you're being held in Seminole County. Was there a bond on the Seminole County case?
It's a no bond, Your Honor.
Oh, so yeah. Unfortunately, that means you're not going anywhere. Okay, thank you. Your name, ma'am?
Arusha Brown.
What happened with Miss Walker? She bond out?
No.
You have an inmate number, Your Honor?
Audrey Lane Walker?
Oh, one moment.
Brown.
Can we pass by Ms. Walker and do Ms. Brown?
Sure.
She'll be along in a second.
All right, no problem. All right, your name, ma'am?
Arusha Brown.
All right, Ms. Brown, you're here because you're arrested on a warrant for failing to appear on the charge of driving while license suspended. $2,000, Division 83. Bond is set in the amount of $2,000. Okay.
Can I say something?
She has 2 failure to appear.
Is there 2? Oh, I gotcha. Yep, there is. And there's another failure to appear for no valid driver's license. It's up on the amount of $100. Okay.
Can I say something? Your Honor, I don't have that much money because I have a 8-month-old baby, and my mama got cancer and she's sick and she's watching her, and I don't have no job.
Well, this is the thing. I would have, if this was just no valid driver's license, I would say, yeah, you could plea. My concern for you is that I don't have your driving record. I don't know where you stand. If you get 3 driving while license suspended in a 5-year period, you lose your license for 5 years as an habitual traffic offender.
Yes,
And
sir.
you may very well have been trying to get your license back so that doesn't happen to you.
Yes, sir.
If you plea today to get out, that would be a 3rd conviction potentially. It sounds like it might be, and then that means you're going to lose your license for 5 years.
Yes, sir.
5160, which is issue to driving my license suspended, we still have valid. But both of them are
Oh, they are. Okay. If they're both actually no valids now, then you could plea.
for her driving history. She only has a driving.
Okay. What's her time served total?
On the 5160, it looks like she has 2 days that started out as a criminal traffic case, and on the 0113, she has 3 days.
And do you show that both of those are now no valids?
The 0113 is showing as a suspended on the clerk's website.
Okay.
And
Sure. Yep.
and 5160 is the no valid.
Okay, so they're both no valids. If she wants to plead, it'll be time served, and I'll just give her a little fine, and then give her time to pay it. Okay, so you want to plead no contest to both of those no valid driver's license charges then?
Yes, sir.
Actually, not a no valid. I apologize.
Okay. All right, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
No, sir.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past?
No, sir.
Understand, did you see a plea form today? Does she have a plea form?
Talking about the
Are you understand that by entering these pleas today, you give up your right
Yes,
to have a trial in this case?
Yes, sir.
And the right to have the state prove the allegations beyond the exclusion of all reasonable doubt?
Yes, sir.
The right to question the witnesses that would be brought against you?
Yes, sir.
And you also understand giving up the right to call any witnesses to your defense that you wish?
Yes, sir.
You're giving up your right to have an attorney appear for you at trial?
Yes, sir.
You have any questions about any of those rights?
No, sir.
All right, and you understand you're giving up all those rights by entering pleas of no contest to both of these charges today?
Yes, sir.
Now, you do also understand that no valid driver's license is punishable by up to 60 days in jail, up to a $500 fine, and that the entry of your plea would result in deportation if you're not a citizen.
I understand that question.
Okay. All right. I'll accept your plea of no contest in both those cases. Set you to time served in both. There'll be court costs in both, $50 cost of prosecution in both. And do you want a payment plan on
Yes,
those?
sir.
Yeah. All right. That's all the rights there that I just said. And I'll have you sign that on the bottom. Okay. Can you afford $20 a month?
I'm supposed to be starting my job at Walmart, but since my mom had got sick, I couldn't. But I'm trying to work through the labor finder pool. They pay you
Okay.
every Friday.
What I'll do is this. I'll make it $20 a month, but I won't have your first payment due until September 17th. So hopefully you can get out and get back to work. And if you don't have the money to start paying it, then my name will be on all the paperwork you get today. You can write me a letter and send it to the courthouse, and I can give you extension on that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, well,
Just can you put them together in one payment plan? That's usually what we do. Or you can just make it 10 but if you do 2, they're going to take 5 from each. Because we usually just put it in one order and then put both case numbers on there. And then they only have to take the $5 once. Then just do 10 and 10. Yeah. All right. Your name, ma'am?
Audrey Walker.
All right, Ms. Walker, you're here today because you failed to appear on a possession of drug paraphernalia charge. The bond on that is released on your own recognizance. You were out on bond on a possession of cocaine and introducing contraband in a county facility. Just a second. All right, I'll leave those bonds in place. So you can you'll be released. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Your name, ma'am?
Yuritza Morales Flores.
What about Arucha Dare Dennis Brown?
We just did her, Your Honor.
Oh, was that was? That was 2 of them. That's fine. All right. What was your name again, ma'am? I'm sorry.
Yuritza Morales Flores.
Okay. All right, ma'am, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of trespass. After warning, I reviewed the charging affidavit. You find sufficient probable cause. Set bond in the amount of $500. Point of public defender.
She does qualify for PTR, Your Honor.
Oh, you do. All right, I'll PTR. I'll release you with PTR conditions instead of the $500 bond.
Thank you.
Any additional conditions?
No return to. Let me get that address. It was 4760 Palmetto Avenue, Jamal Fine Arts. Don't go back there.
Okay, I won't.
Simple. You go back there, guess what? You know where you're going to be?
In jail.
Yep,
Thank
that's
you.
it. Okay. And what happened with Larry Frederick?
Medical, Your Honor.
And Larian Grandin?
Also medical.
Your name, sir?
Traeger Verdu.
Okay. Didn't hear what that was, but I figured it out by looking. All right, Mr. Verdu, you're here today because you're arrested on 2 charges: resisting an officer without violence and loitering or prowling. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. Bond set in the amount of $500 on the resisting and $100 on the loitering and prowling. Appoint a public defender to represent you.
I'm sorry?
I'll appoint a public defender to represent you as well.
All right.
Okay? What about Mario Ravello?
I'm gonna look
he's medical, Your Honor.
All these medicals, are you? Yeah. I hope it's not what I think it is. Because that's a problem if it is. We got a lot more medicals than Your name, sir?
Daquan Walker.
Mr. Walker, you are here today. Several matters. First of all, you were arrested on a charge of resisting an officer without violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find sufficient probable cause set bond in the amount of $500. And you were also arrested on a charge of criminal mischief. Did I look at this one? Oh, that's right, broken windows. I do find sufficient probable cause for that set bond in the amount of $500. You were out on bond on a trespass in a dwelling after warning and battery. State, do you know, was that at the same place with the same person?
No, sir, it was not the same place nor the same person. And those was I supposed to went to court for, but since the courtroom's been closed, I couldn't go to court for them to get them resolved. They supposed to have been resolved already.
Do you have the battery charge?
Sir?
Just a second, I'm talking with State. I'll be with you.
Yes, sir.
And it wasn't someone named Sandra? Okay. All right, I'll leave those other bonds in place. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just leave the, 500 on the criminal mischief and the other, and then just leave them. Your name, sir?
Brandon Martinez.
Mr. Martinez, you're here because you're arrested on an out-of-county warrant for failing to appear on a no valid driver's license
Yes, sir.
charge. The bond on that is $5,000. Is this 2 cases? I know it's 1 case. This one. Yep. Okay. Stay bond 5,000. Your name, sir?
Jonathan Mattingly.
All right, Mr. Mattingly, you were arrested on a warrant out of Seminole County
Yes, sir.
for failing to appear. There is no bond on that. I will tell you that we are actively, and I don't know if you know, but no counties are exchanging prisoners at this point, or defendants. But Orange County is actively reaching out to the judges in other counties when they have a situation like yours. So one of the county judges will speak with Judge Rex Seidler and see if she's willing to set a bond. If that happens, we will bring you back up after we've gotten notice from her and either set the bond or tell you what was said, okay? But currently, it's no bond.
So how long can I be held before transport?
Well, there's no way to know. At this point, everything is sort of in suspension. We don't know when the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is going to open us back up, and then they'll start moving people. Then the question will be, how many people do we have to move and how long that takes? But hopefully, we'll get something back from her, and she'll set a bond, and then you can get bonded out. But I just don't know at this point. Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Two. Your name, sir?
John Rainey, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Rainey, you were here because you were picked up for a violation of probation. You got a new charge of resisting without violence, but they have filed a violation of your probation, and there is no bond on that. Appoint a public defender on the VOP.
I can say something.
Was there the other ones from out of county? Yeah.
Is there any way I can resolve the probation today?
No, unfortunately not. I don't have the ability to do that for you.
Okay.
Okay. But talk to your public defender, find out whoever, I'm sure you should know who your public defender is, and then they may be able to set it for an early plea or an admission on that.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Your name, sir?
Terry Arnold.
Oh, wait, here's Morello. These are the Spanish.
Yeah.
Terry Arnold.
It's the status hearings, Your Honor.
I don't have him on. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, Mr. Arnold, you were brought back. You were arrested on a warrant out of Pinellas County from Judge Ballone. Our Orange County reached out to Judge Ballone and asked if they would like a bond set, and we were instructed that the bond is not to be modified. So you'll be remaining in custody awaiting Pinellas County's decision to come and get you. Okay?
How long do they got to come get me, sir?
Unfortunately, like I told one of the last people, there's really no indication at this point when the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is going to allow face-to-face. It's just a matter of time when we open back up. So at this point in time, I really can't tell you. Usually it'd be within a couple of weeks, but we're not even in that situation yet.
So I can't get no bond at all on it?
That's why we asked them and they said no. Okay? Thank you. I still have that paperwork. For some reason I didn't sign these. Your name, sir?
Artemis Devenard.
All right, Mr. Devenard, you're here because you're arrested on a warrant out of Hillsborough County. We did reach out to Judge Ward in Hillsborough, and the bond is remained at $15,000. There is a bond in your case in the amount of $15,000.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Good luck.
Yes, sir.
He's got something. Your name, sir?
Curtis Frederick.
All right, Mr. Frederick, you're here on a warrant out of Seminole County. Judge Rex Seidler issued with no bond. We did reach out to Judge Rex Seidler, and she indicated that she did not wish to be there a modification of that, so it will remain at no bond.
Okay.
Thank you. Your name, ma'am?
Lakeisha Mabry.
Ms. Mabry, you're here on a warrant also out of Seminole County that was issued by Judge Rex Seidler. Orange County did reach out to Judge Rex Seidler, and she indicated that she would not modify the bond. It still remains at no bond.
Thank you.
And here is the other stuff I signed.
We're up to Spanish, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, do I push interpreter here? Call.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Dalia Romero, Spanish interpreter on the line.
Good morning. We have a few arraignments from BRC.
Okay, one moment. Let me connect to the BRC courtroom 2, correct?
All right, yes, and he does have the headphones on.
Okay, one moment, please.
Do the victim need translate?
Did we say Morello bonded or something?
Does she need an interpreter?
Do I need?
Give me 1 second. I have misplaced my callback number. 1 second.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Thank you.
Yes.
the victim is here and also need an interpreter.
Okay. How do we do that? When she speaks, it's going to go through the headphones. Can they do it over the thing? Okay.
We'll be able to do it on the speaker, Your Honor.
Great.
1 moment.
Glad someone knows how to do this.
I've been waiting for your call all day, and now that it comes in, I misplaced my call back. 1 moment.
Okay. Turns out I didn't need my computer at all. After I called her, I realized, yeah, I don't need the computer because I get all the paperwork from you guys.
Your Honor, he can hear the interpreter.
All right.
Thank you.
Your name, sir?
Daniel Velasquez.
Daniel Velasquez.
All right, Mr. Velasquez, you're here today because the state of you were arrested on a charge of battery, domestic violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find that there is sufficient probable cause. Now, the 11586 Boggy Creek Road address, you live there, is that right?
11586 Bobby Creek Road, yes. Sí, señor. Bueno, 11586 Bobby Creek Road.
One 11586 Bobby Creek Road.
Okay. And does Miss Iglesias live there also?
No, ya vive con sus padres, pero es mi novia.
No, she lives with her parents, but she's my girlfriend.
Okay. So if you were to return there, there would be no reason for you to have contact with her, is that right?
Pues la verdad, no hay otra manera, no podemos tomar terapia o algo así, porque yo llevo 5 años con ella y no la quiero dejar, sinceramente.
Well, is there any way is that the only way? Because I've been with her for 5 years. Is there any kind of therapy? Because I don't want to break up with her.
Well, it would be just on the short term. Now, she's there in the courtroom, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I guess let's hear from her then, see what she wants.
El juez quiere saber qué es lo que la señora desea.
Ya, ¿puedo hablar? Sí, la verdad, yo no quiero dejar las cosas así con él y pues nos gustaría meternos en un programa de terapia o algo así para pues solucionar
I'm
las
sorry, Your
cosas.
Honor. There's a really bad feedback. I'm not understanding what she's saying.
Do we need her to step back from the mic maybe, or what do you think?
Yeah, just.
Actually, the issue might be, does the defendant have the headset on?
Yes.
Okay, he might need to step back a little bit. I'm not sure if it's the... Señor, si usted se puede echar para atrás un poquito. Señora, por favor, repita y no se me acerque tanto al micrófono.
Yo la verdad no quiero dejar las cosas así con él. Nosotros llevamos mucho tiempo juntos y no pasó absolutamente nada, entonces simplemente queremos terapia, eso es lo que siempre hemos querido y no quiero dejar las cosas así con él. Yo lo quiero y pues hemos estado juntos por muchísimo tiempo, desde que yo era muy niña, entonces no.
Again, Your Honor, there's a feedback, but my understanding of what she's saying is that she does not want to break up with him if they could go to some therapy because they have been together for a very long time.
Okay. Is she afraid of him, and can he return home and be with her now, awaiting the charges to be resolved?
Señora, ¿usted le tiene temor a él?
No, para nada.
Okay, ¿y él pudiera regresar a la casa con usted y ustedes estar juntos en lo que se resuelve este caso?
Sí, señora.
No, she's not afraid, and yes, Your Honor, he can return.
Okay, you understand that if I let him come home, that I'll order that he not have any hostile contact with you, meaning he can't even raise his voice. But that's all I can do. I can't protect you if he does return home.
Perfecto.
Señora, usted entiende que si yo le autorizo a él regresar al hogar nuevamente, él no puede tener contacto hostil con usted. Él no puede ni siquiera alzar la voz en contra de usted. Entiende que eso es lo único que yo voy a permitir si es que puede regresar, que no pueda tener contacto hostil con usted. ¿Eso está claro?
Sí, señora, correcto.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. All right, Mr. Velasquez, I'm going to release you with pretrial release conditions. You do qualify for that. There won't be a bond on it, but you do have to live up to their requirements. I'm going to require that you have no hostile contact with the alleged victim in the case, and that is Mariana. What's her name? Iglesias. All right, so no hostile contact. That means you can't yell at her, you can't raise your voice, you can't raise a hand to her. You understand that? Yes?
That's fine.
All right, you also, there'll be no guns, no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. Okay?
Yo tenía un arma conmigo, pues, pero eso es mientras que se acaba el caso o ya no puedo volver a tener arma. Yo en mi bus tenía un arma, pues mi arma personal, pero es legal, la ley. ¿Ya no puedo volver a tener armas o solamente se acaba el caso?
I own a weapon. Is this weapon, am I not allowed to possess a weapon ever again, or just while the case is pending?
Just while the case is pending. Okay? Just while this is going on.
Okay, pero el arma la tienen ustedes, ¿cierto? Porque yo
But the weapon, you're holding the weapon, correct? You guys have the weapon?
You'll have to, when you return home, you need to surrender that weapon within 48 hours. Take it to the police department or the sheriff's office and they'll hold it for you. Okay?
Mi mamá en el teléfono fue que ya se la habían llevado, pues que
My mother told me that the weapon had been taken away. I just don't know.
If someone else has it, that's fine. Okay? If you have it, though, you need to surrender it. But just or you can take it to your mothers or your fathers, or someone can hold on to it. Okay? All right.
That's fine.
No, if it's there, he can surrender, but he can give it to a relative or he can give it to someone else. Doesn't have to go to law enforcement.
Thank you.
Okay? All right, you're all set. Thank you.
Your Honor, may I get the last name of the defendant, please?
Sure. It was Velasquez.
Thank you.
Your name, sir?
Kevin Vega Negron. Kevin Vega Negron.
Kevin Vega Negron.
All right, sir, you're here because you were arrested on a charge of providing false identification to a law enforcement officer. I have read the charging affidavit, and I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. I set bond the amount of $500. I also make you aware of the fact that you are on a detainer or hold out of Hillsborough in Seminole County on potential violations of probation. I think.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Yeah. And we haven't got anything on that yet, but there's no bond on that. Is that right? We're just waiting to hear from them.
Both are.
Do we
set
know?
with no bond.
Okay. There's no bond on the two violation of on-site violation of probation cases, one Seminole and one Hillsborough. Point of public defender to represent you in our cases. Thank you. Your name, sir?
Raúl Vega.
Raul Vega.
All right, Mr. Vega, you're here, you're here because you're arrested on a charge of driving while license suspended. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause of impose bond in the amount of $500, or set bond in the amount of $500. You also are being held in an on-site violation of probation. You were on probation for a charge of burglary, dwelling, or conveyance, and grand theft. Out of Orange County, and there's no bond on the two violations. I want a public defender to represent you on those cases. And that's it. And I'm done with him. He's fine. Oh. Okay, 33-day motions.
Your Honor, are those the only three cases for the interpreter?
That's it. And the last fella, he said Raul Vega, but he's also Vega Negron, just like I think they're brothers, the previous fella.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay, 33-day motions. We have Brandon James.
Your Honor, on April 12th, there was a notice of non-filing.
All right. So, means granted, and he's out. George Andrew White.
Your Honor, on April 13th, there was a notice of non-filing.
All right, grant the motion. Release. Ruben Ramos.
Your Honor, on April 13th, there was a notice of non-filing.
Grant the motion. Release. Joshua Hull.
Your Honor, on April 13th, there was a notice of non-filing.
Grant the motion. Release. Ray Jerome Stiles Jr.
Your Honor, on April 13th, there was a notice of non-filing.
Okay. Chandri Holman Delmore.
Your Honor, on April 13th, there was a notice of non-filing.
Grant the motion. Lorenzo Carl Johnson Jr.
Your Honor, on April 13th, there was a notice of non-filing.
Grant the motion. Anthony Constantino.
Your Honor, an information was filed in this case on April 13th, filing ID 106169018.
All right, denied. Alex Shankar Feliciano.
Yes, Your Honor, on April 8th, there was a notice of non-filing.
Granted. Release. Isaiah Payne.
Yes, Your Honor, on April 13th, there was a notice of non-filing.
Granted. Harold Rasbin.
Yes, Your Honor, April 13th, there was a notice of non-filing.
Granted. And finally, Brunel Mertis Jr.
Your Honor, on April 13th, there was a notice of non-filing.
All righty. I gotta date them all. I thought that I had, well, I know I'm going to be here like the 24th and the 28th for the rest of the month. For some reason, I thought I was here next week. And literally last night at like 11 o'clock, I was like, I'm just going to take a look and see, for sure on the dates, and saw that I was supposed to be here this morning. I would have been at home. You'd be like, where is that idiot?
Judge, did you have a determination of counsel for Henderson Travaris?
No. The clerks are looking at each other as if they never heard of it either.
Okay.
All right, so then end. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
You too.